Have you ever noticed the moment you start defending yourself, you've already lost? Think about it. The second someone accuses you, insults you, or questions your worth, your instinct is to explain, justify, clarify. But here's the brutal truth. The act of defending yourself hands them the power. You're no longer in control. You're on trial. And the more you talk, the guiltier you look. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He called it the silent art of contempt, the refusal to validate an attack with defense. And today, we're going to break down exactly how to use this Machiavellian trick to flip the power dynamic instantly. Stay with me until the end, because once you master this, you'll never again feel cornered in an argument, negotiation, or conflict. Instead, you'll watch your enemies crumble under the weight of their own attack. Section 1. Why defending yourself is always a trap. Here's what most people never realize. When you defend yourself, you're not really answering a question. You're playing in their courtroom. They set the stage. They framed the accusation. They wrote the rules of the game. And by defending, you admit that their accusation even deserves a response. Think of it this way. If someone walks up and says, "You're weak, you're pathetic, you're a fraud," and you immediately say, "No, I'm not, here's why," you've already surrendered. Because in that instant, you've made their words the center of reality. Here's the psychological truth. Humans equate defense with guilt. The more someone explains themselves, the more suspicious they seem. It's why lawyers tell their clients to stay silent. It's why politicians dodge questions instead of answering them directly. Defending yourself never clears your name. It only amplifies the attack. But what if you could turn that attack into fuel? What if, instead of defending, you could make them regret ever opening their mouth? That's where Machiavelli's dark trick comes in. Section 2. The Machiavellian principle of contempt. In The Prince, Machiavelli warns rulers never to lower themselves to the level of their critics. He writes that silence, disdain, and reframing are stronger than any justification. Why? Because explaining yourself equalizes you with your attacker. And equality is weakness when you're playing the game of power. Instead, you must reject this aura. Your words don't even reach me. Silence becomes a weapon. A smirk becomes a dagger. Refusing to engage makes their attack look ridiculous, like someone screaming at a wall. Think about the last time you saw someone stay calm, unbothered, while being insulted. What did you feel? Probably respect, maybe even intimidation. Now think about the opposite. Someone over-explaining, tripping over their words, desperate to clear their name. What did that look like? Weakness. Desperation. Machiavelli's trick is this. When accused, never defend. Instead, reframe, deflect, or, most devastating of all, ignore with contempt. But contempt is only the first step, because sometimes silence is enough. Sometimes you need to flip the blade back at them. Section 3. The tactics of power reversal. There are 4 Machiavellian tactics to instantly flip the power when attacked. Let's break them down. 1. Strategic silence. Say nothing. Look them in the eye. Let the tension grow. Silence forces the attacker to feel insecure. They expect resistance, but get a void. The silence makes their words echo back on themselves, louder, uglier. Silence isn't weakness. It's psychological torture. The more they wait for your answer, the more power you gain. 2. Contemptuous dismissal. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just dismiss. Simple phrases like, "That's not even worth my response." Cute. Believe what you want. These are not defenses. They are executions. They kill the conversation and leave your accuser humiliated. Contempt flips the script. Now they look desperate to convince you, not the other way around. 3. Reframing the attack. If they say, "You're arrogant," don't deny it. Smile and say, "Confidence looks like arrogance to the insecure." If they say, "You're selfish," respond, "Only those who give nothing accuse others of taking too much." You don't defend. You transform the attack into proof of your strength. Every accusation can become a compliment if you reframe it with precision. 4. Counterattack the premise. Don't defend. Attack the assumption behind the accusation. Example, they say, "You don't care about people." You respond, "Why do you need me to care about you so badly?" Suddenly, they're the one defending themselves. They enter the game as prosecutor. You leave them as a defendant. This is the ultimate flip. The accuser becomes the accused, and they'll regret ever opening fire on you. Section 4. Why people fail to use this power. Now you might be thinking, if this trick is so powerful, why doesn't everyone use it? Because most people are slaves to their emotions. They feel the sting of insult and react like children, blurting, explaining, begging to be understood. But the Machiavellian mind is different. It sees attacks as opportunities, not threats. Every insult is a chance to show strength. Every accusation is a test of composure. Here's the dark reality. The world doesn't respect offenders. It only respects predators. And if you want power, you must stop playing defense and start playing offense. Section 5. The masters of power who never defended. History is full of men and women who understood one truth. Defense is weakness. Silence is power. Take Machiavelli's own prince, Cesare Borgia. When accused of cruelty, Cesare didn't defend himself. He didn't explain that his executions brought order or that his brutality kept the peace. Instead, he stayed silent. And in that silence, his enemies trembled because they realized he didn't care whether they thought him cruel or kind. He cared only about control. Or look at Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor. When slandered by rivals, he never responded with counterarguments. He wrote in his private journal, "The best revenge is not to be like them." He rose above the mud, and in doing so, his enemies drowned in their own noise. And then, the modern world gives us countless examples. Politicians who dodge accusations not with defense, but with deflection. CEOs who laugh off criticism instead of justifying. Even celebrities who ignore tabloids, only to grow more mysterious, more untouchable. The world doesn't admire those who beg to be understood. It admires those who act as if they never needed to explain themselves at all. Section 6. The psychology behind why defense equals weakness. Let's break this down scientifically. The human brain has a bias called the truth default theory. We believe what we hear until it's challenged. So when someone accuses you, you're lying, you're arrogant, you're selfish, that idea plants itself in the minds of everyone listening. Now, the moment you defend yourself, something strange happens. Instead of killing the accusation, you anchor it deeper. Your defense is like oxygen to a flame. The more you breathe into it, the stronger it burns. Psychologists call this the backfire effect. When people see you defending, they assume there must be some truth to the claim. And the longer you talk, the guiltier you look. But here's the dark secret. When you refuse to defend, the brain flips. Without confirmation, without oxygen, the accusation starts to suffocate. People begin to doubt the accuser instead. And in that moment, the crowd shifts to your side. Section 7. How to use this power in real life. This isn't just theory. Let's bring it down into your world. 1. In arguments. Someone says, "You don't care about me." Most people rush to explain, "Of course I care. I do this. I do that." Wrong. That's defense. You've already lost. Instead, you pause. You look at them. Then you say calmly, "Funny, if I didn't care, you wouldn't be here." Now, they're scrambling to explain their own feelings. You flipped it. 2. In the workplace. Your boss says, "Your work seems sloppy." The weak employee protests, "No, I worked all night, here's why." The powerful employee, they smile and say, "If it looked sloppy, it means I've made it too simple to understand. Let me show you how deep it really goes." No defense, just reframe. Now the boss is intrigued, not critical. 3. In relationships. Your partner accuses you. You're selfish. Instead of defending with, "No, I'm not, I did this and this for you," you say, "Selfish people never admit it. The fact that I don't deny it should tell you something." Now, they're the one rethinking the accusation. 4. In social conflict. Someone insults you publicly. You're fake. The weak one argues. The strong one laughs and replies. And yet you still can't stop watching. The crowd flips. The attacker loses face. The trick isn't to fight the blade. The trick is to make the blade cut the attacker instead. Section 8. The emotional shift you must embrace. Let's be brutally honest. This tactic is not easy. Why? Because your instincts will scream at you to defend yourself. Your pride will burn. Your emotions will boil. Your ego will beg to be cleared. But Machiavelli's trick demands something higher, emotional discipline. You must train yourself to feel the sting of insult without reacting, to feel the urge to explain and strangle in silence, to let the attack hang in the air unanswered, like a sword that never touches your skin. And when you master that silence, when you let contempt drip from your calmness, you will feel something incredible. Power. The power of knowing you don't owe anyone an explanation. The power of watching your enemy collapse under the weight of their own words. Imagine this. Every time someone tries to put you on trial, you burn down their courtroom. That's what it feels like to never defend yourself again. Section 9. The Machiavellian Mindset. Machiavelli wasn't teaching cruelty for cruelty's sake. He was teaching survival. Because in a world full of predators, the one who defends is eaten alive. The Machiavellian mindset is this: never explain, never justify, never bow to an accusation. Instead, dismiss, reframe, attack the premise, or stay silent. And once you live this way, something shifts in how people see you. You're no longer a participant in petty arguments. You're untouchable. And untouchable people are feared, respected, and obeyed. Section 10. Legends who weaponize silence. Some of the most powerful people in history never defended themselves, and in that refusal, they became untouchable. Take Napoleon Bonaparte. When mocked for his height, he never defended himself. Never once did he say, "I am tall enough." Instead, he ignored the insult completely and rewrote his own legend. People didn't remember Napoleon as short. They remembered him as a conqueror who bent Europe to his will. His silence erased the insult. His actions drowned in greatness. Or Winston Churchill. In Parliament, he was attacked endlessly, accused of being drunk, arrogant, reckless. How did he respond? Not by defending, but by cutting with wit. When told, "You are drunk, sir," he replied, "Yes, and you, madam, are ugly, but tomorrow I shall be sober." The attack collapsed. The crowd roared. Churchill's reputation grew stronger, not weaker. And then there's Steve Jobs. Criticized for being cold, ruthless, and obsessive. Did he defend himself? No, he doubled down. He said, "I don't care about being the richest man in the cemetery. I care about building something insane." The criticism turned into myth. His refusal to defend turned insult into legend. The lesson is clear. The moment you defend, you shrink. The moment you refuse, you rise. Section 11. The shadow of defense. Now let's look at the opposite. At those who defended and fell. Richard Nixon. His desperate denials during Watergate destroyed him. Every time he spoke, every time he defended, he looked guiltier. He became the defendant in a trial he could never win. Countless celebrities, caught in scandal, cry on camera, explaining themselves endlessly. Do they look innocent? No, they look weak. And weakness is never forgiven by the public. Psychologists call this the Streisand effect. The more you fight back, the more attention you draw to the wound. The world smells blood, and once they smell it, they never stop biting. If you defend, you feed the wolves. If you refuse, the wolves starve. Section 12, the Dark Code, Machiavelli's 4 tactics. Now it's time to break this into a code you can live by. Machiavelli's method of power rests on 4 pillars. Strategic silence. Say nothing. Let the weight of silence crush the accusation. Remember, silence is not weakness. It's dominance. Contemptuous dismissal. Reply with cold indifference. That's beneath me to answer. The crowd sees who is higher. Spoiler. It's you? Reframing the attack. Turn their blade into your sword. Example. Called arrogant? Reply. Confidence looks like arrogance to the insecure. Suddenly, you've shifted the narrative. Counterattack. Not with rage. With precision. Expose their weakness. Mock their premise. Or throw back a sharper line. Make the attacker regret they ever open their mouth. This is the dark code. Lie by it, and you will never play defense again. Section 13, the psychological war inside you. But let's be honest, the real enemy isn't the attacker. It's your own mind. Your inner voice will beg you. Defend yourself. Prove them wrong. Clear your name. That voice is weakness. That voice is fear. That voice is the conditioning of a society that wants you submissive. The strong man, the strong woman kills that voice. They embrace discomfort. They let the world whisper, gossip, accuse, and they don't flinch. Because here's the truth. The more accusations you survive without defending, the stronger your aura becomes. The more contempt you show for your critics, the more powerful your presence grows. Each insult you refuse to defend against is another brick in the fortress of your mind. Section 14, the final transformation. Close your eyes and imagine a room full of people turning against you. Whispers, accusations, laughter, all eyes waiting for you to explain yourself. Most would panic. Most would rush to defend. But not you. You stand tall. You smile faintly. You say nothing. The whispers turn uneasy. The laughter cracks. And slowly, the fear shifts from you to them. This is the transformation. From defendant to master. From prey to predator. From victim to Machiavellian ruler of perception. Section 15. So the next time you're attacked, in arguments, in work, in love, in life, remember this. Never defend yourself. Defense is submission. Defense is weakness. Defense gives away your crown. Instead, silence, contempt, reframe, counterattack. That is the Machiavellian code. The code of those who bend power, not beg for it. And once you master it, you will never be the defendant in someone else's trial again. You will be the judge. You will be the executioner. You will be untouchable. Section 16. Why humans beg to defend. Why do we defend in the first place? Because humans are wired for approval, for survival. Our ancestors couldn't afford rejection. If the tribe accused them of wrongdoing and they stayed silent, they risked exile, and exile meant death. That primal fear still lives in you. That's why when someone points a finger, your heart races. That's why you feel the urge to explain, to justify, to beg for acceptance. But here's the truth. You are no longer a helpless caveman. You are no longer chained to the tribe's approval. Defending is a relic, the survival instinct that no longer serves you. The world no longer rewards a defendant. It rewards the one who controls the trial. Section 17. The aura of the untouchable. Think about the people you admire most. The legends, the icons, the rulers of their age. Do they look like they need approval? Do they look like they waste breath defending their every move? No. They project an aura, the aura of the untouchable. The aura that says, your opinion is beneath me. Your words cannot pierce me. Your attacks vanish before they even land. And here's a secret. That aura doesn't come from money. It doesn't come from fame. It comes from the refusal to defend. Power isn't in the crown. Power is in the silence that makes the crown inevitable. Section 18. The mirror test. Here's an exercise you can practice tonight. Stand in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes. Now imagine someone hurling their harshest insult at you. Something that cuts deep. Something that normally makes your chest tighten, your pulse quicken. Then do nothing. Say nothing. Hold the gaze. Watch your reflection. Watch how silence turns the insult into smoke. Watch how you rise as the words die. Do this every day for 7 days. You will feel it, the power to resist offending, the power to look criticism in the eye and watch it crumble. This is how you forge the aura. This is how you train your mind to obey you, not fear. Section 19. The ritual of power. Now let's carve the dark code into a ritual you can live by. The Machiavellian ritual of power. Anticipate the attack. Expect criticism. Expect betrayal. Expect slander. When it comes, you won't be surprised. You will be ready. Control the body. No flinching. No twitching. No defensive posture. Stand tall. Breathe slow. Stillness is dominance. Choose the weapon. Silence, contempt, reframing, or counterattack. Never defend. Always choose offense or indifference. Escalate through absence. If they persist, vanish. Remove yourself. The ultimate insult is invisibility. Let them fight shadows while you rise higher. Return stronger. Every attack is fuel. Transform it into growth, reputation, or action. Your enemies hand you bricks. You build castles. Repeat this ritual until it becomes instinct. When the storm comes, you won't even think of defending. You'll think only of winning. Section 20. The dark psychology behind fear. Now let's dig into the dark psychology. Why does refusing to defend terrify your enemies? Because they expect you to break. They expect you to play their game. When you don't, it destroys their reality. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. The attacker throws fire. You don't burn. Their brain short circuits. This is why abusers lose power when the victim stops reacting. This is why tyrants lose grip when the people stop answering their threats. Refusal to defend is psychological warfare. It's not passive. It's the deepest form of dominance. You don't need to fight to win. You need to refuse to play their game. Section 21. Your enemies will break. Picture this. You're accused in a meeting. Everyone turns toward you. Instead of defending, you smile faintly. You say nothing. The accuser grows louder, angrier, more desperate. They look unhinged. They look unstable. And in that silence, they destroy themselves. This is how enemies break. They swing harder and harder at the wall of your silence, until their sword shatters. Every time you refuse to defend, you hand your enemy a rope, and they will hang themselves with it. Section 22. Let me leave you with this image. Life is a courtroom. Every day, someone will accuse you. Every day, someone will try to put you on trial. The weak rush to the stand, defending themselves desperately. They beg for mercy. They play by the court's rules, and they lose. But the strong, the Machiavellian, they never take the stand. They sit high above the court, unmoved. They watch the chaos unfold below them, and with a single glance, they remind the world, I do not defend. I decide. Section 23. The final words. So remember this. Never defend yourself. Defense is weakness. Defense is surrender. And every time you refuse, you steal power from the accuser and crown yourself. Machiavelli knew it. The conquerors knew it. The icons of history knew it. And now, you know it too. Lie by the dark code. Never explain. Never justify. Never defend. Be the one who flips the power. Be the one who bends a world. Be the one who cannot be touched. Because the day you stop defending is the day you become untouchable.